Hi guys, it's Anthony here from The Normal Cyclist. In today's video I'm going to be reviewing the best bike I've ever ridden. It's called the E-Lion. It folds, it's a mountain bike, and the best thing of all, it's electric. So what's it all about? Well, to be honest, this is the hardest video I've had to do so far for my channel because I could spend literally hours talking about this e-bike. I'll go into all the fine details in a moment in terms of the features, but just to give you an overview, this bike, after just testing it as a sample, has now become the bike that I use to commute with every day to work, as well as using it for recreation. It has all the best features that you'd look for in a bicycle, including the ability to fold in half. The best part actually is the price, because it's just a fraction of a price for what you pay for any other e-bike with these sorts of specifications. Now I'm sure you're dying to find out about all the features of the bike, so let's take a closer look. Okay, so firstly let's take a look at the folding action of the bike. So the first thing you want to do to fold it is just to move the kickstand back so it doesn't get in the way, like that. And then I find the easiest position is to be standing on the right hand side of the bike, and there's literally just a catch on this side which you're going to hear being released, and that allows the bike to be folded in half. I find it easiest to hold the seat with one hand and the handlebar stem with the other, and you can just sort of lever the front of the bike. It's really easy, it's not very heavy, and lever it round like that. And then the bike sits on both wheels, and there's actually a stand underneath the bike as well, so that can just sit nice and comfortably like that. So as you can see, it is folded in half. Now obviously this isn't the same sort of folding bike as a Brompton. A Brompton's designed so that you can basically take it on a bus or train. It's designed for portability. This isn't the same sort of bike, so this will get you from A to B without having to catch a bus or a train. Because it can go for longer, it's very comfortable, it's sturdy, and it's got a hefty battery and motor. The reason you'd want to fold this bike is really firstly for storage. So I live in quite a small 2-bedroom flat, and this fits in quite nicely. I wouldn't really want to lock it outside overnight. But when you do need to lock it, maybe just for a few minutes, for a couple of hours, locking is much easier. It's actually very easy to secure the bike because all the essential components can be locked with just one chain. So things like the quick release wheel, which is one of the things that's first to get nicked, as well as parts on the frame, you can just use one chain to lock this to a stand or a lamppost, and so it'll be nice and secure. So those are the main advantages of folding the E-Lion. Okay, while the bike is folded in half, it's going to allow me to show you some essential features on it. So firstly, I want to show you the LCD screen and controller. So basically, this allows you to control the level of assistance that's going into the bike from the electric motor, and you've got some dials here to control this. So over the last few months I've been trying to increase my fitness by reducing the amount of assistance, but it's totally up to you. You can basically ride this so you feel like you're going downhill all the time and it's really easy, or you can decrease the motor power and increase the effort that you put in. This is really good too because it provides useful riding metrics such as speed and distance and some other cool data if you're into that sort of thing. Now the power from the bike comes from the battery, which you can actually access when the bike is folded in half. It actually comes locked and you've got some keys, so if you do lock this outside and you're just going to nip to the shop or something, you can leave the battery in there and no one's going to be able to steal that. However, if you want to charge it, you can either charge the bike with the battery in the frame, or you can take the battery out. So this is the battery here. I like the fact it's housed within the bike, it's hidden, so people usually can't tell that you're riding an e-bike unless they really inspect the back wheel, which isn't going to happen when you're cruising along at 25 kilometers an hour. But also the battery is protected from the elements when it's inside the frame, so it's just going to mean that your battery is going to last for longer. Now I wanted to show you this, and in particular the battery capacity, which I hope you can see is 10 amp hours. And the reason for that is there are lots of cheaper phony bikes that look like this that are being sold on eBay and other places, but they come with basically rubbish components. And one of the key components of any e-bike is the battery, in terms of the battery lifespan, the warranty and the capacity. 10 amp hours I think is actually ideal for this bike, because it is heavier than, you know, some other regular bikes. It's got all the gear that you'd have on a mountain bike, and it's got the motor. And so if you don't have a very good capacity, you're only going to be able to travel for, you know, 50 minutes, maybe maximum 1 hour, and you need to charge it again. However, with this, on quite a moderate setting on the controller, I could probably use this bike for 4 to 5 hours, possibly even more if I was feeling adventurous and I wasn't taking on lots of headwind and hills and so on. So, in short, it's got a really good battery. That's something to look out for when you're purchasing your next e-bike. Okay, now that the bike is unfolded, I'm just going to whiz you through some of the other really cool features on the bike. So firstly, I just want to draw your attention to the rear motor. You'll have to excuse my shaky camera skills. You've probably heard me say on previous videos how important I think it is that the motor is situated on the back of an e-bike. And that's for balance, that's for stability and a smooth ride, and so that you don't keep lurching forward, which is the case if the motor was on the front wheel. Now, this motor provides 250 watts of power, so it's fully road legal and it's CE certified, and you can see the CE sticker on there. Also, you can see that it's got Shimano mechanical disc brakes on the rear wheel and also on the front. And that really is an important feature, because it helps to reassure me that I'm safe on the bike, whether I'm riding in the city, which I do quite a lot in London, or I'm off-road and riding down some dirt track downhill when it's raining and it's very muddy. I'm always confident of the stopping power of the bike. That's also enhanced by these awesome and very, very durable Kenda mountain bike tyres, which you can see they're really, really thick. They've got a really nice grip on them, and they can handle pretty much anything. And so that also helps really give me some confidence when I'm on the bike. As I say, I ride it in the city a lot, and city riding sounds like it's straightforward, but because you get all sorts of potholes and speed bumps and so on, but really the bike can handle anything that you throw at it. And finally, that's coupled with the fact that it's got dual suspension. So you've got the mid suspension there, and you've got the front suspension, which you can see. And so the ride that you get is so comfortable. So when I do go over speed bumps, I don't really notice that they're there at all. And obviously you can change the suspension settings depending on where you're riding and the conditions. Now, as I move to the front of the bike, you can see that it comes with a fitted LED light, which is really bright, and it can actually it does blind me when I'm quite close to it, so I won't switch it on. But you can angle this as you need to. And I'll just move up to the handlebar so you can get a closer look. So those are the Shimano brakes there, and you've seen the LCD controller, and these are the dials which help you to operate the controller, and then you've got the gears here on both sides. Now, in terms of the transmission, I'll just move to the other side so you can have a look. So we've got Shimano gears, we've got 21 gears, and it's quite a wide range, and that basically means you can tackle hills, you can tackle flat roads and still go pretty fast. So we've got a really, really nice range on the gears. And while we're on this side, I'll also show you the fact that we've got an adjustable seat post. And so this bike is suitable for riders of different heights, and you can sort of adjust your riding position accordingly. The final thing I think I'll mention is the fact that you've got a kickstand on the back here, so you can obviously rest the bike when you want to take a break. Okay, I could talk for literally ages about this bike, but I know I need to cut things short. So I'm just going to talk about some of the cool accessories that you get with the bike. So firstly, get this comprehensive user manual, which basically gives some instructions about how to set the bike up, how to control some of the settings on the LCD, as well as troubleshoot if anything should go wrong. You also get front and rear reflectors. Do remember it's a legal requirement to have them, so do put them on, it's dead easy. And you also get a nifty little bike bell. Now remember, that isn't particularly loud. Look on my channel and on my website for the world's loudest bike horn, because that's what you're going to need when you're riding in the city or anywhere actually. But anyway, you get that for free for now. You also have the charger, so it's a 3-pin charger. It comes in 2 pieces. That allows you to charge the bike. As you saw, you can remove the battery, or you can literally just plug it in straight into here. You might be able to see there's a small hole to allow you to charge the battery. Penultimately, you get an optional throttle. I'll just bring this a bit closer so you can have a look. And this fits onto the handlebars really easily. You literally just need to unscrew it and clip it on. And there's a small wire attachment over here, so you can wire it in quite neatly, maybe wrap it around the handlebar first. And that's really nice, so you don't have to pedal and you can just use the throttle. Finally, I think it's a really nice touch that you also get a multi-tool. So not only does this help you set up the bike, so you've got all the Allen keys and the things you need, but I actually carry mine with me when I go out riding. So if there's any problems, if I need to, I don't know, loosen something or maybe even change a tyre or something, I've got some of the tools here. So it's really, really useful. It folds really nice and neat, and it's very light. What I love about the E-Line is it's basically my dream bike. I've ridden road bikes, folding bikes, all sorts of different types of bicycles, and the problem I find with nearly all other types of bike is that unless you spend a few £1000s on the best specifications on a bike, usually with the average bike you get uncomfortable when riding for more than about 25 minutes. Now I like to go on longer journeys and my commute to work is longer than 25 minutes. So I like to ride for much longer than that. And usually if you then start to invest in bikes with the suspension and so on, but you're not paying thousands, the weight gain in the bike basically means that it's too heavy to ride. That all changed when I rode the E-Line, because it has all the cool features that you'd want for a comfortable ride and for a long ride, but it also has the electric motor. And so you get that extra push when you need it. And the weight gain with all the other features, that's negated by the electrical assistance. There are literally no limits as to where you can go on this bike. And in that sense, it's the freest I've felt on a bicycle actually, which is why I love this so much. It's literally taken me both on-road and off-road to places that I would never have been able to visit had I not been on a folding mountain electric bike. As always on The Normal Cyclist, it's my duty to provide you with an honest review, and so here are a few things to bear in mind before purchasing the E-Line. Now the first thing to talk about is the setup. That's going to take you about an hour, and it can be handy if there are 2 people to carry out that process. It's really easy. It involves fitting the seat in, which will take you about 10 seconds. Putting the front wheel on is a quick release wheel, so it's pretty easy to do. Attaching the handlebars into the stem, and also just making sure that's aligned properly. Attaching the pedals, and then just giving it a quick check and maybe a very brief ride just to make sure everything is working as it should. If you're not confident with that process, please do take the bike to a professional bicycle mechanic just to have it checked through. A lot of local shops offer that service for free. All can charge, up to around £10, so it's not very expensive. But please do have the bike checked. I would advise that for any bicycle that you buy online and you're having to put it together, just to make sure everything's safe. The second thing I want to talk about is the optional throttle. So I've shown you that previously, and you can attach this onto the handlebars so the bike can basically move without you pedalling. Now, if you're going to use that, it's fine to do so off-road and it's pretty fun as well. But if you're going to use this on-road, please check the laws of the particular territory, the country that you're in, to make sure it's legal for you to use that first. Because if there are any accidents or should there be any problems, you'll be legally responsible and you can get into trouble if you've got this attached and you're not supposed to have it. So please do check first. The final thing I want to say, which I've said in previous videos actually for e-bikes, is firstly that this is CE approved by the Essential Safety Standard from the EU. That's EN 15194, and that's applicable to electric bicycles. Now, whether you get this or you get any other bicycle, you must make sure that the bike you get meets the criteria for that standard and has actually passed that test, and the supplier should be able to show you a certificate to that end. If you get a bike without that safety standard, there are lots of things that can go wrong, especially when you've got a motor on the bicycle, and that can put you at risk. So that's just something to bear in mind. If you'd like to purchase the E-Lion, you can do so exclusively on thenormalcyclist.com at a price which might seem crazy in terms of how low it is compared to other electric bicycles. We're a small business, we're a family business, and we're growing. And over the next few months, we're going to be stocking more electric bicycles, regular bicycles, and cycling accessories. And you'll notice that the prices on all our products are highly competitive, if not the lowest that you'll find online. Don't forget that we test and use everything that we sell. So if we don't like it, or if we wouldn't use it, we won't sell it. So for example, I use this bike literally every day. Also, don't forget that we offer free postage and packaging on all our products. Well, that's all from me for now. If you believe in our organisation and what we're trying to do to get more people out of their cars and on their bikes, then please do like this video on the button below and share it on social media. I'm going to wish you happy cycling, and I will see you in the next video. Hi guys, it's Anthony here from The Normal Cyclist. In today's video I'm going to be reviewing the best bike I've ever ridden. It's called the E-Lion. It folds, it's a mountain bike, and the best thing of all, it's electric. So what's it all about? Well, to be honest, this is the hardest video I've had to do so far for my channel, because I could spend literally hours talking about this e-bike. I'll go into all the fine details in a moment in terms of the features, but just to give you an overview, this bike, after just testing it as a sample, has now become the bike that I use to commute with every day to work, as well as using it for recreation. It has all the best features that you'd look for in a bicycle, including the ability to fold in half. The best part actually is the price, because it's just a fraction of a price for what you pay for any other e-bike with these sorts of specifications. Now I'm sure you're dying to find out about all the features of the bike, so let's take a closer look. Okay, so firstly let's take a look at the folding action of the bike. So the first thing you want to do to fold it is just to move the kickstand back so it doesn't get in the way, like that. And then I find the easiest position is to be standing on the right hand side of the bike, and there's literally just a catch on this side which you're going to hear being released, and that allows the bike to be folded in half. I find it easiest to hold